Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In the last video, the sponsor signed the charter, and just like that, your idea became a real approved project. Congratulations! But now comes the question that makes or breaks project managers. You have the green light, so how do you actually pull this off? Because here's the truth. A signed charter tells you what you're doing and why. Planning is where you figure out how. And if you skip it or rush it, your project doesn't just wobble, it collapses. So in this video, I'll show you how to build a project plan that actually holds. The schedule, the budget, and the roadmap that turns your approved charter into a path you can follow. Let's get into it. So why does planning matter so much? Think of it like a GPS. The charter is your destination. But without a route, you're just driving and hoping. A good plan maps the road, warns you about traffic, and tells you when you'll arrive. It coordinates everyone, surfaces risks before they bite, and gets your team and stakeholders aligned before a single task begins. Here's the rule to tattoo on your brain. Never skip planning. Good planning is the cheapest insurance you'll ever buy. Let's start with number 1, the schedule. This is where most projects quietly go wrong, so pay attention. You don't build a schedule by guessing dates. You build it in layers. First, you break the work down. Take your big deliverables and split them into smaller and smaller pieces until each one is a clear, doable task. This is called a work breakdown structure, and it's the foundation of everything. If a task is too big to estimate, it's too big. Break it down further. Next, you sequence those tasks. Some can happen at the same time. Others can't start until something else finishes. Those are dependencies. And dependencies are dangerous because they're like dominoes. If one task slips, every task that depends on it slips too. Map them out and you'll spot your critical path, the longest chain of dependent tasks that determines your project's finish date. Here's the key insight. If a task on the critical path is late, your whole project is late. Tasks off the critical path have a little wiggle room. We call that float. Knowing the difference tells you exactly where to focus your attention. Then you estimate. And this is where ego kills projects. There's a trap called the planning fallacy, our natural tendency to be wildly optimistic about how long things take. So don't estimate alone. Ask your team because they're the ones doing the work. And build in a buffer. The earlier you are in planning, the more uncertainty you have, so the bigger that buffer should be. Finally, lay it all out visually, usually on a Gantt chart, so everyone can see what's happening and when. Now number 2, the budget. Your schedule tells you when, your budget tells you how much. And these two are joined at the hip. Change one, and you almost always change the other. Estimate your costs the same way you estimate time, with your team, using data from past projects, and from the bottom up, pricing each task, then adding them together. Watch for 2 kinds of cost. Direct costs, like wages, materials, and software, that go straight into the work. And indirect costs, like overhead and utilities, that quietly add up in the background. And here's a pro move most beginners miss. Set aside reserves. A contingency reserve covers the risks you can see coming. A management reserve, controlled by your sponsor, covers the surprises you can't. Your approved budget becomes your baseline, the number you measure everything against from this point forward. Number 3, the roadmap. If the schedule is the detail and the budget is the money, the roadmap is the big picture. It's the high-level view you show stakeholders, the major milestones and roughly when each one lands. Milestones aren't tasks. They're checkpoints that prove progress. First draft complete. Testing finished. Product launched. They boost confidence, they keep everyone oriented, and they let you catch slippage early, long before it becomes a crisis. Quick exam tip, because this comes up constantly. If a question asks which task delays the entire project when it slips, the answer points to the critical path. And if it asks where you have scheduling flexibility, that's float. Lock those two in, and you'll pick up easy marks. So let's bring it together. Planning turns your approved charter into an actual plan of attack. You break the work down and sequence it into a schedule, with the critical path showing what really drives your deadline. You estimate the costs with your team and protect them with reserves, building a budget baseline. And you wrap it in a roadmap of milestones that keeps everyone aligned. Schedule, budget, roadmap. That's the trio that turns approved into achievable. And here's the mindset shift that separates the pros. Planning isn't a box you tick before the real work starts. Planning is the real work. The better your plan, the calmer your project. Because you've already fought the chaos on paper, where it's cheap, instead of in real life, where it's expensive. If this helped, hit that like and subscribe button. It genuinely helps the channel grow. And in the next video, we'll move from planning into execution, where the plan meets reality and your real job as a project manager begins. So I'll see you there. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and go do great things. Bye for now.
Now let me tell you something important. Most professional certification exams aren't just testing your knowledge. They're testing your speed, accuracy, and ability to perform under pressure. That's why practicing with real exam-style questions matters. Download QuizFactor A+. Get access to thousands of practice questions, timed quizzes, and realistic exam simulations designed to help you prepare smarter and walk into exam day with confidence. Find the link in the description.